Okay, question number one is basically it's asking you to convert these numbers into decimal form and tell me if it's irrational, rational, or an integer. Irrational is like a number that goes in decimal form in a weird pattern. You don't know what the next pattern is. Like the most famous one is pi. That one we're going to say approximately equal to 3.1415, and it goes on forever. That's irrational. You have to put the number in decimal form. Rational is like a 1/2. It becomes 0.5. It terminates. It stops. An integer is like a -1 or a +1. No decimals, no fractions, no anything like that. For each one of these, you have to convert them to a decimal. This one here, square root of 8, is a weird number. It's going to be a weird, I don't even know, approximately equal to, all I know is the decimal goes on forever. And it's not a pattern, so that one's going to be irrational. You have to check it in the calculator. You have to check it in the calculator. The square root of 5, I'm sorry, it's 25 becomes 5, which is basically 5.0. So now that 5.0, it terminates, it stops. That makes it rational. Can it be an integer? Well, yeah, 5 over 1 is basically just 5, right? Which is basically a integer. Integers have no fractions, no decimals with it. Now this one here, anything with pi is automatically irrational. Now it's not going to have rational or integers. Square root of 64 over 6. You have to type it in the calculator. You have to type it in there, and it basically gives you 4/3. 4/3. Well, it has a decimal. You have to convert that to a decimal, 1.3333, and it goes on. I can tell you the next number. The next number is 3. What's the next number after that? 3. So it has a pattern. So that one's going to be rational. It's a rational number. It's not irrational if it's rational. And then is it an integer? No, because it has these 0.3s. Then it's not an integer. So it's only a rational. Let's come over here. What is a function? A function is where the x's do not repeat, and it's 1-to-1. The way we check this was a vertical line test. We just draw a vertical line. See when I draw this vertical line here, it crosses it twice. It crosses this graph twice, makes it not a function. That's my answer. Crosses it once, function. Every time I draw a vertical line, it's crossing the graph, and I mean graph by these little black arrow lines. Crosses it once, function. Crosses it once, function. Again, we're looking at one that's not a function. Okay, so it's going to have a graph. Automatically, you want to see a graph. There should be points here, guys and girls. Y'all don't see them. They should be there. Okay. Graphs, all stuff. I'm always thinking of slopes. I'm always thinking of y equals mx plus b. Graphs, everything all the time. Think of this right here. Think of a line. Okay. So the student took 32 minutes to complete a 20 question history assignment. Choose 2 points that lie on the line. Choose a line, okay, with a slope that best represents the number of questions completed per minute. Select 2 correct answers. Well, first off, you want to see the words per minute. And that means per minute, it means to divide by your minutes. So I have 2 numbers over here, this one and this one. So I'm going to actually divide by minutes. So 20 what? Questions over 32 minutes. Now on that one, I'll put in the calculator, and it gives me 5 over 8. So 5 over 8 is your what again? Slope. Your per, every, each. So 5 over 8, remember what your slope is. This, again, is equal to your, equals to m, which is your slope. Now you got to go back and remember the word slope. There's 2 words that describe slope. It's going to be known as your rise over your run. Okay, so I'm going to rise a 5 and a run of 8. From where? I'll give you this much. If there's time involved, guess what's always going to be involved? The beginning. If you have no time, did she read any questions? No. If she hasn't read any questions, then she has not even started. 0 time. So on this note, I'm going to start from here. I really want to start from here. And I'm going to do the rise of 5. I'm going to rise. Actually, I can change colors, I think. I'll put a 5, and I'll rise. So I can rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's my 5 rise. And then I'm going to do a run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's 8. You can see that I'm at 8. this point right here. There's my 8. So I'm going to tell you much, there's a line that goes through here. And there's my first one. Now, if you have a straight edge, I'm very fortunate I have these tools. I can go from the beginning and stretch it out, and I can see that, oh, it goes through that one over here. To prove it that it goes through that one over here, I'm going to continue my slope. I'm going to do my rise again. My rise of 5. So from here, I'm going to go up 1. Oh, great. I'm going to go up, and I'm here at 5, right? So I should go up to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm at 9 with 10. Here's my other rise. And then a run of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if I think about this one, if I was here at 8 plus another 8, I should be at 16. And yeah, matches up really good. Very sneaky question. I think I was very good. But I think it's a fair question. It's a slope. Rise over run. So how do you answer this? Let me just clear it all up. You're going to be on edge elastic, and you have to select this point and select that point. Because we now know that the rise and run of 5 and 8, any point along this line, I'm guessing here too, any of these points that would appear here along this line would be a correct answer. So hopefully you got that. Makes sense. So this is now asked to determine whether each situation represents a proportional or non-proportional relationship. Proportional and non-proportional. I told you all this. Proportional, think of the origin. You see 2 zeros there? So you're going to have an origin, idea where it goes to the origin. What goes to the origin? A y equals mx plus b. And if it goes to the origin, your b is 0. So you basically have a y equals an mx. No plus b. Nothing there. Nothing actually exists there. So in this situation, an example would be like y is equal to 2x. Y is equal to, I don't know, negative 1/2 x. These are proportionals. No b's, okay? Again, because b is equal to 0. So on this situation, I'm going to tell you this much. Usually there's 2 numbers. So dead giveaway, to make your life a little easier, when it's proportional, I'm looking for 1 number. If it's non-proportional, my bad. If you're looking for if you're looking for proportional, you're looking for 1 number because it goes to the origin where the origin of b is equal to 0. If you're looking for non-proportional, you're looking for 2 numbers. Okay? So in that situation, we're going to come out here. A total number of text messages sent if 4 were already sent and 6 messages are sent per day. So per is dead giveaway. What does per mean? Your slope. This one happens only once. That's going to be your B. So we come back over here. Just coming over here. All the slopes, anything with slopes, is going to have a per, an each, an every, ly, daily, weekly, hourly, something like that. Anything with a B now is 1 time, happens once. Okay? Once, exactly 1 time. So in this situation here, this already happened once, that's your B. This one happens over and over, that's your M. So for this one, you can have y is equal to, this is my M again, the 6x plus 4. So on that note, I want to tell you this much, this one is non-proportional. 2 letters, 2 numbers. The number of characters in a text message, if each word contains 6. Okay, so I'm telling you this much. How many numbers do you see here? 1. So in my opinion, that's going to be y is equal to 6x. Like, that's my opinion. 1 number, boom, automatically proportional. How many numbers do I see here in this one again? Only 1. So I'm going to go with proportional again. And this one would be y is equal to 50x. Here I'm seeing 2 numbers, so I'm automatically going to say non-proportional. So for it to be non-proportional, let's make sense of this. The time it takes to send a message, if it takes 30 seconds to open up the app, so that's already happening once. 30 seconds to open it up. That only happens, you open it up once. It only happens once. Okay? The sender sends 1 character per second. Oh, okay, so this is going to be per. This is going to be my M. And this is my B. So we're going to have y is equal to 1x, your M, plus 30. But we do not write that 1. We just write y is equal to x. So unfortunately, these copies are bad, but basically, when you have an inequality sentence like this, you're just going to plug it in the calculator. That's all you do. Remember, this is 7 nines. Let's have the same numbers. 9 over 8, square root of 9 over square root of 8. Sorry, square root of 9 over 8, square root of 8 over 13, and 9. And we're going to look for the one that's going to be not. Okay? So what I'm going to do is just, it's pretty easy. It's not too bad. We're going to go on the calculator. All right? And we're going to go with the first number, 0.72. And then for us to have the inequality sign right here, I need to come out here and get control equal sign. It gives me all the ones. So find the exact same number. Okay? Sorry, find the exact same, I guess, inequality sign. Then just put that first number here. This first number, what's that first number? Anybody know what that first number is? Yeah, it's 7 over 9. So just put the fraction and 7 over 9. So we're going to go control division, 7 over 9. And then control equal sign to get the inequality sign again. And then I think it's 82%. Let me just double check. Yeah, 82%. So I'm just basically plugging these numbers in here. Plugging this number in here. Plugging this number in here. I'm going to go through it, plug it in like that. So 82% is my final, I guess, thing I have to enter. 82 and then percent. And then there it is. What does it say? True. And again, we're looking for the one that is not. Okay? So I'm going to say that one's not my answer. So on this one here, I went ahead and I pressed calculator right, and it was true. And I'm, again, looking for the one that's false. So my little cheat, I'm actually going to press up, and it brings it back down. And it allows me to go ahead and do this, and I change it to the next number. And the next number is a fraction, so we're going to get rid of a fraction, and it's going to be the, square root of a fraction. So actually, I have to add the square root sign here too. Square root. Oh, great. And I'll put the fraction in there. Yeah, that'll work. And let me delete that one. Yeah, square root. I forgot the number. Sorry. 9 over 8. 9 over 8. Enter. And there it is, false. Talking to one of my students right now, I like what he does. He says, sir, once they put that one there, my bad. Control escape. And it's just, and then he retypes, which is, I don't know, pretty cool. Not too bad. I like that. Okay, so we found the one that's false. So now we're going to come right here. False. B is my answer. This next one, function out of function. Remember, vertical line test. If it's a function, it crosses it once. Crossing it once, function. Okay, so that one is a function. The ones that are non-function, the vertical line test crosses it twice. Not a function. If you go from this one x value, whatever it is, I'll go from x, and it goes to a y1, and then a y2. I can't read the numbers, but you see how it goes to these two? Not a function. X is repeat, not a function. On this one here, it says, an online candy store sells 3 pounds of fudge for $5.49. Which fraction represents a relationship between X and the number of pounds of fudge ordered? Why? The total cost in dollars. Sorry, I don't know why I had the answer as A. I don't know why I went with A. It's really B. Because it says here, which function represents the relationship between X, the number of pounds of fudge ordered, and the total cost. So it's saying X the number of pounds, right? And if you can't remember, always going to be Y, okay, change in Y over change in X. And it's telling you here actually which represents the function of between X, the number of pounds, which is the number of pounds? 3. So 3 goes on the bottom. And the total cost. The total cost is what? 54? 99? And remember, it's always going to be changing Y over changing X. So you have to set it up like this, which is basically your slope, and here it is, B. I have to go apologize to my other period. I think I told him wrong. On this one here, again, once you see a coordinate grid, once you see 2 points, you better think of list and spreadsheets, and then menu 413. Look down at the answers. What is the slope and y-intercept of the function? Okay, enter the numbers in the boxes. Again, this is like a picture from your, I guess, your computer screen that you would take on Edge Elastic. So looking at this is kind of weird. You basically just need a number here for your slope. And looking at this one, this is a parentheses. This is another parentheses here with a comma in the middle. So basically it's a coordinate. So when you do this one, you have to go to Listen Spreadsheets and put these numbers in. So let's go to Listen Spreadsheets. 6, 1, and negative 6. So 6, 1, negative 6, negative 5. Come here, go to menu, and then go to 4, 1, 3. And then make sure that one's an A. You have to go to B here and control left parentheses, enter, enter. So there's my slope. Boom. And here's my y-intercept. Now there's several things you can do on this one right here. What you're basically thinking here, that we have a graph and it's crossing at a negative 2. It's crossing right here with a slope of a half. So it's going like this. Okay, so the question over here is going to ask you to put your slope and then your y-intercept as a coordinate. Well, what does that mean? So let's come over here. It's saying, hey, it's crossing here, and you know it as a negative 2. But you have the slope, m to be a 5.5, my bad. And you have your b to be equal to negative 2. So to put a 0.5 here is fine. But where do you put this negative 2? Guys, this is a coordinate. So it's actually, what is this coordinate here? The coordinate was not a negative 2. It's 0, negative 2. So you actually want to put 0, negative 2. That's what you want there for that y-intercept as a coordinate. Very sneaky, but good question. I don't think it's hard. I don't think it's anything like difficult. It's just along the lines answering and realizing the way it's asking that answer should be given. It's kind of unique. It's unique. Okay, the next one we'll work on, guys, is this one right here. The graph of the linear function. Okay, let me just erase it all. The graph of the linear function is shown in the coordinate grid, so here it is. And I actually really want y'all to think, once you see this, think, listen spreadsheets. And then you go to menu, 4, 1, 3, and control B, control left parentheses, give you that. The slope right here, you're going to get your slope, and you get your y-intercept here. Please make sure this is a copy of your Edge Elastic page. So it's not the best, but there it is. It's a sneaky, it's a coordinate. Okay, so when you want to get this one, it's going to be your M, this will be your B. You go to this in spreadsheets. 6, 1, 8, 6, 1, 86, 5, and it gets right here M to be that, B to be here. Okay, so then I'm going to come back to this, and then I'm going to actually look M to be 0.5, and then your y-intercept, your B, it's a coordinate. So if you put a negative 2 here, which a lot of people do, it's going to be wrong. You're saying, hey, where does my line cross the y-axis? And it crosses it at the coordinate 0, negative 2. So this goes to 0 and negative 2. Hopefully that makes sense. So on this one here, it's going to ask you about scientific notation. So the math of the textbook is approximately 0.00165 metric tons. How is the number written in scientific notation? So on this number here, you're going to have, well, all of y'all should know, since it's a very small number, you're going to have a negative exponent. When it's a negative exponent, it's going to be this one or this one. So this one's out, and this one's out. Now on that note, look at the first number. Okay, has to be between 1 and what? 10. These cannot be it. They're too small. It has to be between 1 and 10. It has to be between 1 and 10. So that one is, well, out because of this. So A's out, C's out because of the positive, and D's out because of this not being 1 through 10. Or on that note, answer is B. how do you get the answer? Just make sure 0.00165. We go from left to right, first non-zero number, put the decimal right after it, right there. So we're going to have 1.65. Now, how far apart are they? How far apart are these? 1, 2, 3. Okay, and it's going to be a super small number, so we're going to go negative. We went to the left, negative. So we're going to go times 10 to negative 6. This one here is asking which is not a function. Again, not a function. And for it to be a function, x's do not repeat. Not repeat. This is for it to be a function, but they're looking for the one not, so they want the x's, they want them to repeat. So this one right here, you see those repeats? That's my answer. Not, they don't repeat. That is a function, which is out. So this is a function. X's do not repeat, function. X's do not repeat, function. So she's asking if faucet leaks at 0.8 gallons every 2 hours. So X is always hours. You're just gonna, every time you see the X is going to be hours. Time, minutes, seconds, whatever, hours. Months, years, whatever. So it's saying which graph has a slope that best represents the number of gallons per hour leaked by the faucet. So let's go to 2 hours. Let's find 2 hours. Okay, and let's go up to the 8.8 gallons. That's pretty good. It's for the 1. I like that one a lot. Doesn't that 2? It's going to go past the 1. Take a 1.5. Definitely out. Has to be this one. Once you see this one, guys, once you see this table, I haven't even read this stuff. It's not even that important. If I read a table, boom, and I kind of glance at the answer choices, oh, per fee, per is your M's. Membership fee, this is your B's. So saying, hey, do this in spreadsheets, menu for 1.3, and find out if it's going to be a slope of 375 or 825, or find out if your wire ship's a 35 or a 42. And so I'm going to use these numbers right here. The ones I can read the best over here, I'm going to go with 120 and 75, so I have an 8 here and a 20 here. And just go to the calculator. There's 875, 120, and 120. Slope is 375. B is 45. So let's go back. 375. Check. A's answer. Slope. A was a 45, so not even close. There's your answer. So on this note, which 2 consecutive integers on the number line is this one? So basically, get that in the calculator, put it there, and it gives about 7.41, something. So on that note, between which integers, it becomes between a 7 and an 8. Now, just make sure you know, right in the middle, is 7.5. So it'll be 7.4, just a little bit further out. Remember to select the location, right? To select 2 locations on the line. So it's between the select 7 and select the 8. Next one's asking over here, which is a function. Remember, functions, x's do not repeat. If the x's do not repeat, what that means is you draw a vertical line. It's a vertical line test. That's what we call it, vertical line test. It would cross once. So let me see. This is a sneaky one. Look at this. They're both here. Oh, it crosses. It actually crosses here and here on the same vertical line. So that one is not a function. When I draw a vertical line through here, it actually touches it infinite many times here. All these places is touching it over and over. So what are you thinking here? No way, not a function. Crosses them once. Function, we're looking for the one that's a function. Here it crosses it twice. It's not a function. No function. So on this one here, just basically find the decimal value of it, and the square root of 55 is equal to approximately equal to 7.41. 7.41 falls between 7 and 8. 7.5 is in the middle. 7.4 would be double to the left. You have to click on this point and this point because 7.41 falls between 7 and 8. Vertical line test, okay. X's do not repeat for it to be a function. If you draw a vertical line test, it must cross once. Here it crosses it twice, not a function. Here it crosses the vertical line, crosses a graph, this is the graph, crosses it twice, not a function. Here it crosses the infinite, not a function. Here, each time I draw it, function. Okay, this one here looks kind of sneaky, but it's not too bad. It's pretty easy, actually. So which proportion can be used to find the slope? Okay, P and R is very equal, very important the way it's given to you. So P is named first, so that's P1, which is 0.1. And then R would be P2, or we're going to go in this situation put R2. Now from P going to be P1, I'm going to go to P, would give me X1 and Y1, the X and Y values of the 0.1. 0.2 would be R, all right, 2. I want to say R2 because it's already 0.2, but since the R2, R the second one, I'm going to go ahead and say this will give me my X2 and my Y2. Okay, now on that note, let's come over here. Get the coordinates of P. Okay, so P are going to be, P is going to be at a -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. This is a -7. This can be a -7 for P. And I'm up at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at a +7. So I'm at a +7. Now for point R, R is the second one they named, so I'm 0.2, right? So give me X2 and Y2. Is going to be at 1, 2, 3, 4, -4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. -4 and 4. Okay, so in that note, I need to use this idea of X2 and Y2, all these X1s and Y1s, to plug it into the formula of Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus. Now, this formula is your slope formula, and that comes out on your reference material, okay? So don't freak out. Now, you're basically going to have to come back and refer to this one. So the way it starts off, this number is this number, the first number. And that one comes from Y2. Y2 is, you get these coordinates right. No, this is 3. I could have done it wrong because they got the wrong coordinates, -4. 1, 2, 3. Let me see 3. Yeah, that's correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, -4, perfect. 1, 2, 3, that's it. So I'm going to go to Y2. Y2, guys, happens to be the first thing that I plug in here. So Y2 happens to be, again, I'm looking for a formula, right, that has this right here, this setup. You know what? I'm going to change it to green right here in the middle. So you can know this and this. This is the thing in the middle. That's that subtraction 2. So we're going to go Y2, which is 3. So I'm already looking for a 3 minus. This one's out, because not 3 minus. This one's out, not 3 minus. And Y1, what in the world is Y1? Y1 is, let me make sure I got Y1, which is 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's good. 3 minus 7. Check. There's my answer. Wrong here. And there it is. That's how easy it is. And that's it. Really easy, really basic. So this is asking you to go ahead and give the value of y is, so that's y equals. So we're going to start off with y equals 6 more than, so that's going to actually put a plus 6. That goes back to 7th grade. The quotient means to divide. So divide the next two numbers of the opposite of x, so negative x and 4. So that's basically what it's asking you to go ahead and graph it on the calculator. You can graph it on the calculator and decide which one, or you can use you know, looking at over here, it's not that one. It's going to be negative x over 4 plus sign because I see the line here, so I want to say it's a plus sign. So we're going to go with B. It's definitely a B. Put a plus sign, and now it's definitely a B, okay? Then the next one is it this one, or is it this one? Well, I'm going to say as much. The y-intercept is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, that looks good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's my y-intercept for the 6, which is B is equal to 6, which is also known as the coordinate of 0, 6. So let's check out. My slope, in this situation here, slope is actually a negative x over 4, is also known as a negative 1/4 x. Let's see if this makes sense. This is get the x and divide it into 4. Well, give me one of those, 1/4. Give me 1/4 of the x. Mean the same thing. So in this situation, m is equal to a negative 1/4. What that means, my rise is a negative 1, and my run is a positive 4. So from here, I go down 1, and then go 1, 2, 3. Nope, not that one. Go down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to say, man, it looks pretty darn close. I'm going to go with that one as my answer. I'm definitely going to go with that one as my answer. I would check on the calculator to make sure that I don't have this one, and let me see what the numbers are. I'm hoping that looks like a negative 4. So we'll go 7, negative 4, and 4, 8. 7, negative 4, 4, 8. 7, negative 4, and 4, 8. That's a negative 4 and 24. Negative 4 wrong and 24. So not even close. So yes, I agree way better. That one, A, B, C, D, and this is letter E. E is definitely out. C is out, and A is out. Okay, on this one here, it's going to go ahead and say the table shows the competition times for 4 runners in a race. The shows the runners in order by their competition times from the fastest to slowest, and the fastest would be the least. Took the least amount of time. To the slowest, which is, I guess, least to greatest time. Now, if it's least to greatest, that's going to be ascending. If it's ascending, then that means we're just going to put them in order, right? This in spreadsheets and put these numbers in there. So let me come on here and put these numbers on the calculator. I'm going to add a new document, this in spreadsheets, and equals 12, and I'm going to go with plus the fraction of a half, right? Double check. 12 and a half, 12.9, 12 and a half, 12.09, and then 12. And here we're going to go with equals 12.09 and equals 12 and 4 over 8. I mean, my bad, 4 over 5. And let me just double check that real quick. 4 over 5, right? Oh, 2 over 5. And then 0.8. 2 over 5 and 0.8. 2 over 5. And then equals 12.8. Now let's just hide up everything, and I go to menu, 1, 6. Okay, so that one's first, and then 12 and a fourth, and 12.4, and 12.5. Okay, sounds right. Just double checking in my brain. Okay, so that 12.09. Sorry about that again. So Ellen goes first. And 12.4, Steve. He's switching here. And then Joe. And then Ed. Okay, so in this situation right here, let's go a relationship relation contains the points of 7, -4, 3, -3, 2, -4, and 7, -8. Which statement accurately describes this relation? The relation represents a function. Well, let's see. It's asking for a function or not a function. So 7, does it repeat? Oh, 7 repeat. So it's not a function. Okay, since it's not a function, this one that says is the function is out. Get out of here. And get out of here. Those two are out. Now, why is it not a function? You see that same 7, the same x goes to two different 4s, or two different numbers. Let me see. Because two of the x values are associated with the same y value. No, they're not going to the same y value, and it's the same x value. So I think that's way wrong. Let's check this out. Does not represent a function of x because because there is an x value, which is 7, associated with more than one y value. Yes, so 7 goes with what? It maps to a -4, and it maps to a -8. Or you can say 7 goes to a -4, and the same 7 goes to a -8, which means it's not a function. Check. Okay, so on this one here, let's just come out here and say an aquarium is being filled with water. The graph shows the height of the water over time as the aquarium is being filled. Okay, which rate of change? Rate of change, another word for rate of change is slope. What's your slope? So look at it, per, and these are your slopes. So basically you get 2 points. And you know, thank God that's a coordinate there. So I'm going to use 0, 0. I think down 2 and 5, right? Double this, I'd be a 4 and 10. Double it, I'd be an 8 and 20. I think it matches up. So I'm going to go with this coordinate right here of 2 and 5. It matches up actually pretty good. So on that note, I'm going to use this in spreadsheets. I want to see a graph, and I want to come out here and find a slope. I'm basically looking for slope. And the slope is basically your n, which is per, each, every, all that good terminology. Okay, anything that implies that it happens over and over again. So we're going to come out here and go 0, 0, and 2, 5. Control add a page and 0, 0. And 2, 5. Come back over here. Go to menu 4, 1, 3. And then be here. Control this math. So my m is 2.5. So my slope is 2.5. So come back over here. And there, 2.5. And there she is. Okay, so Caroline will buy some. You know, once you see this, boom. Seriously, don't even read this stuff. Well, think of list of spreadsheets, manuscript. I will go like just once you see a table, a graph, anything with two coordinates. This is a coordinate here, and here's another coordinate. So I'm gonna use the coordinates of I guess 1 and 250. And then 3, 350. Okay, on that note, so we want to go out here and just basically find what's the key word. And I want to go to was given, that makes sense. Given. Every. Okay, so these basically are your B's that happen once, and these basically are your M's. So basically going to come out here and make sure you can find, so look at this, your M's, your 70 or 50, and then your B's. That's pretty easy. It's a joke question. We're going to go 1, 250, and 3, 350. We're going to go 1, how many inches on the page? 1, 250, and 3, and 350. Come back right here, menu, 4, 1, 3. I'm going to go to B, control this, madness, enter, enter. So B is 200 and M is 50. M is 50, and 200, and there she is. Answer is B. Hopefully that made sense, guys. Pretty easy, not too bad. Only 41 minutes of our time, but the situation was I went and spoke and I explained everything, so it's really not even bad. Very proud of y'all. Keep it up. Remember, this is a study. Keep these papers with you to go and study, and do good in the benchmark.